Hello guys, welcome back to the channel. I hope everyone's doing alright. So today we have stories from a time before the plague. A time where we could go outside. What is your Tinder horror story? Oh, and if you end up liking the video, please leave a like. Alright, so let's get to it. Oh, and not safe for work, I suppose.
I met up with a Tinder girl at Dave & Buster's. She brought me there for a pyramid scheme, sign-up presentation, but I guess I gotta respect the hustle.
Ugh, this happened to me in college. But this was in the early 90s, so no Tinder obviously. I met this attractive girl on campus, we had coffee, then a lunch, nothing ever physical, but she seemed into me. One day she calls me.
Hey, what are you up to? Come by to my office.
Okay, so I'm thinking. Weird. But okay. I go, she meets me and she brings me in this room, and there's about 10 other guys around my age all sitting around this conference table. We're all looking at each other with these what the expressions on our face. Then the girl comes back in with her boss and the sales pitch started.
Shit, I would have been like, if this doesn't turn into a orgy in the next 5 minutes, I'm out. Just go ahead and make it super awkward, since they wanna pull some bull crap like that.
Ha! I'm just loving the scene of a room full of guys all slowly coming to the realization that they've been honeypotted to a pyramid scheme presentation.
This actually wasn't all that uncommon back in the 90s, multi-level marketers were scum then too.
Question, did y'all just get up and leave, or what?
Nah. I still got the timeshare in Boca.
So, I talked to him for 2 weeks before we went out, and no red flags, so we ended up going out to dinner. I said I hadn't been out in a while because I was trying to save money for a washer and dryer, and he told me,
how about instead of saving for that, you save for a boob job?
I didn't even know how to reply, so he followed up with,
no, it's not a bad thing, my sister and mom both had small tits and got boob jobs and they look amazing.
This was all before the waitress even brought our drinks, so I just got up and left.
Well, maybe he should just go sleep with his mother and sister then.
Maybe he already did.
Well, there's plenty of documentaries on the hub.
Holy mother of, what the Good choice to bold. That might have been a test, to see if you'll take that as constructive and not take offense. He was going to keep testing to determine your boundaries.
Abusive people always try to test the waters first with, quote-unquote jokes, then it gets worse and worse as time goes on. Good thing you bailed out early.
Well, he overshot those boundaries pretty quick.
I mean, maybe that is the point. He is likely to overshoot in most cases, but when it hits, he knows he has someone he can push and manipulate, and successfully abuse by manipulating their insecurities and their desire to please.
So, first date, and she wanted me to get into a bar fight with the perfectly friendly guy who had bought us a round of shots that night. Why, you may ask? Because she found out he was a Scorpio.
Astrology chicks are crazy.
We were supposed to meet at 9 p.m. He fell asleep and called me at 9:30 when I was already at the carnival. I told him not to bother coming as I didn't want to see him. He asked for another chance and I agreed. Unfortunately, my dad got really ill and had to spend the next 6 weeks in the hospital with me visiting him daily. I had no time for dates and he got extremely mad. He made a fake Instagram account which he used to follow me and everybody that I followed. He then saw me in a friend's Instagram story and showed up to the restaurant we were at. He called me a whore and a liar and we had to threaten to call the police because he would not leave. Edit. Some of you are asking how it ended, and I'll just add this to my comment. Well, he had my number and kept calling me using different phones. I knew it was him because he'd just be silent and I could hear him breathing. He did this for over 10 months. I was even living in a different country towards the end. One day I was expecting a call from a friend, and had a missed call from a landline, so I called back. It was his mom. I explained to her what was happening, and after a long silence she said,
"Please, don't call the police. I will talk to him."
Never heard from him again. Edit 2. Some people are asking how the conversation with his mum went, so I'll just type it here too. I was living in Thailand at the time and I had my friend Luis text me the night before, telling me that he missed me and he wanted to catch up, so I told him he could call after I finished work. I was a teacher there. When I came back from school I saw I had a missed call from a landline and I assumed it was Luis, so I called back. A woman picked up.
Hello?
Hey. It's me. I have a missed call?
It must have been Carlos. Is not home at the moment, but I'd have him call you later.
It clicked for me. I only know 2 guys named Carlos. Carlos Rodriguez?
Yes.
Oh. I'm sorry, but could I talk to you for a second? Then I told her everything I remembered. I was so scared she would not believe me and call me a liar, etc. I was shaking and I've never felt so shit. It was nearly 2 years ago, and I forget the exact details, but she kept whispering. Dios mío. As I was telling her, she asked me to not call the police, and I told her I would if I ever heard from him again. I never did. Edit. Some people are asking me how I found out about the fake Instagram account, so here it goes. The reason I was at a restaurant was because my sister had flown in from Dublin to visit my dad for a weekend, and she made plans to meet her friends for tapas. I drove her to the restaurant and her friends saw me drop her off and asked me to stay. I did. After a while, I saw him and he yelled. The waiter threatened to call the police, and after the madness I sat back down and we all looked at each other like what the f. I wondered how the f he knew I was there, and the only way he could have known was because one of my sister's friend put up a story where we were all saying Salud with our drinks, and she saw that 140+ people saw the story. We ended up finding his profile and realized that he had followed everyone I followed, so that's how we all reported the account and it got taken down by Instagram.
Hold up. So if I'm following the story correctly here, the first time you met face to face was when he showed up at this restaurant? That's so weird. Who even has the time to do that?
Yeah, exactly. When I saw him I was like, wow, what a coincidence. Is that really you? And he just said,
Eres una perra mentirosa.
Alright, get this. I matched on Tinder with my best friend Forever's fiance after the engagement party, screenshots of everything, and lost my BFF, because I don't play that. I was uninvited to the wedding. The marriage lasted 18 months. Oh, and since so many have asked, I did not swipe right. I took a screenshot and asked my friend what she wanted me to do. She asked me to swipe right to see if he was active. I did, and he messaged me asking to hook up. I told him off. He still wanted to hook up. I gave her all the screenshots. He uninvited me from the wedding because he was certain I would embarrass him. He was correct. I wouldn't sleep with my friend's fiancé, nor would I pretend that he wasn't a jerk. That's why the friendship ended. She was from a culture that required marriage before children. She was desperate for a baby and thought he was her last chance. He was running for a public office and wanted the smiling wife and cute baby. Yes, they both used each other. Oh, and also, yes, they had a baby, and no, he did not get elected. He was her opportunity to have the baby she was desperate for.
I'll take things I will never understand about women for $1 million, Alex.
Fresh off a breakup on campus, I matched with this really good-looking girl who was talking pure filth. Obviously I'm just an idiot with a hurt heart, so I don't question much. I head over to her place a few days later. She insisted I come over on a certain day, at an exact time o'clock. Usually I would have been sketched out, but it was the middle of the day on a Big Ten campus. What exactly could go south? Half hour in, and her husband came home. I was being used in a revenge plot. No more Tinder for me. Edit. Anyway, I pretty much just froze and he started screaming at her in a language I did not speak, and she got off bed and did the same. It was at an apartment slightly off campus where a lot of students lived, so I guess I just assumed she had a roommate that wasn't home. Never assume. I just basically embraced the chaos, grabbed my shit as fast as I could and hightailed it out of there. I can only assume it was intentional based on the specific meetup, but maybe it was poor luck. Either way, just talk to the cute girl at the coffee shop. It's much better than dating apps.
I would like to hear the rest of the story. What was she seeking revenge for? What did he do when he saw you?
The 3 of them played Uno together, lol.
Come on, dude, finish the story.
Sounds like our mates didn't get to finish.
Come on, half an hour later? See, that was his first mistake. I would have been done by then, lol.
My worst Tinder experience was pretty traumatizing for me at the time. I was a sophomore in college and she was a junior or senior at the same school. The first time we ever hung out, I went over to her apartment and we just watched some Netflix and hung out. Nothing crazy. I was thinking this chick is super cool. We may have something here, so I leave telling her I'd like to see her again if she's down.
Yeah. I would love to. Just hit me up whenever and we'll make plans.
We start texting, Snapchatting throughout the week and organize some plans for the following weekend. Out of nowhere, she starts sending me unsolicited nudes, never once asked for them, and when we were hanging out the weekend prior, there was no sexual activity at any level, we quite literally Netflix and chilled. It caught me off guard, but I was more than cool with it. I'm a young college guy and this hot older chick wants to send me nudes after only hanging out one time? Say less. Fast forward to the weekend, she comes to my apartment and we're hanging out with my roommates watching something on TV. She asks me,
Hey? Is it cool if I spend the night?
and after sending nudes to me all week, I kind of figured what was up, so in my head I'm like, yes. But I tell her of course, and to be polite I offer to sleep on the couch because we've only known each other for all of about 2 weeks and have only seen each other in person one time prior. She tells me,
Or, you could just sleep in the bed with me.
so I know it's on. We get to Netflix and chilling in my room and I make a move. We start to hook up and eventually wind up having sex. I wore a condom and finished inside of it and tossed it off to my side of the bed. As we're laying there after a few minutes, she gets up abruptly, comes around to my side of the bed and grabs the condom off the floor and runs into the bathroom. I'm a little confused, maybe a little concerned, but kind of brush it off. As I'm laying there in my bed I hear a loud crash in my bathroom. She yells,
Ah.
I ask if she's okay and get no response. I'm a little concerned thinking this girl just fell in my bathroom and cracked her head open or something. I go to open the door and she is standing in my shower with one leg propped up trying to shove the condom up her vagina after she had flipped it inside out. I freak out, with no clue what to do. She's clearly freaked out and probably embarrassed. I have no clue. I shut the door and she immediately comes back out.
I'm gonna leave.
And I say, sounds good. I never hear from her again.
Oh man. That would freak me out for months.
For about 9 or so, yeah.
No, but what if she ran and froze it immediately? That's a lifetime of fear, man. A lifetime. So we don't have the whole story yet.
He looked at the baggies of frozen release, the flow from the phallus, the old sausage grease, the penis colada, the aqua divine. But which, he remarked in the silence, is mine?
You sir are a goddamn national treasure.
Wait, hold up, you just shut the door and continued to let her try and impregnate herself with your sperm.
I know. I am actually amazed by how many young people these days have an attitude of avoiding conflict at all costs. I say this as someone who is 32, so I'm not exactly old, but many of the young people I've been meeting as a non-traditional student would rather do something like this than deal with the awkwardness. I know some people who are in my age group who are that way as well. I think it's become more prevalent in general with our culture, but with younger people it's out of hand.
Oh. You're trying to impregnate yourself with my semen? Well, this is awkward. I'll close the door and let you get back to it.
She was doing the classic retrieve and conceive.
It's funny because pro athletes are taught to take the condom with them to avoid things like this. I thought it was crazy, but maybe they were onto something.
I had a similar experience to this. I met a chick at the casino, went back to the hotel, we both were super f***ed up, and after sex I went to the bathroom and flushed the connie down the toilet. A few hours later I woke up to her going through all trash cans in the room. I knew what was up, and just played dumb. Bitch crazy out there.
But flushing condoms is bad for the plumbing, yo.
Plumber here, feel free to flush condoms. Worst case scenario I have to come out and snake your drain. $65 is a hell of a lot better than 18 years.
I found a Tinder profile using a picture of me that was obviously ripped from my Facebook account. Come to find out it was my ex-wife trying to stir up drama and problems between my current wife and myself. A single friend of ours texted me a screenshot of it. My wife is an intelligent woman and didn't fall for it. This became a horror story for my ex because this, among other shady things she had done, landed her with stalking charges and identity theft charges. Sucks to be stupid.
First date, we went to see a movie. She brought her sister along, without consulting me first, and I somehow ended up paying for both of their tickets. Bit of a doormat, old me. We went to see Star Wars The Force Awakens. Turns out, neither of them had seen a Star Wars film before, nor had any idea at all what was going on. Just awesome. Date ended at McDonald's after the movie with 1 hour plus of her eating fries one at a time, and her sister talking shit about basically everyone at her work. To this day I'm not sure what that date was even about. There was no second date.
It kind of sounds like you were just their free shit ticket, bro.
It's happened to me before too. She was a cute girl, we got burritos, but she spent the whole time on her phone while I was trying to get to know her. She never even cared to ask what my name was. I got kinda snappy halfway through the date and said, "Wow, you really love your phone, huh?" Then she even casually mentioned,
I wanna get another burrito for later, but I don't have the money.
Then I said, "That sucks," and then left her at the restaurant. I felt so disrespected.
Yo, how broke do you have to be to need a free movie ticket and McDonald's, lol.
It's not something that they do one time, they might do it pretty regularly, and they might get more out of it from guys that are more desperate.
Same thing happened to me, but I left before the check came because I saw her Snapchat her friend.
Just get more free shit.
And just spent the entire date on her phone. I said I was going to the bathroom and just walked out. I even drove us there. She messaged me later.
Why the f did you leave me? You're a piece of shit. I had to pay for everything and then get an Uber home.
I replied with, lol.
This girl I matched with just messaged to troll me. I was like, hey, what's up? And she was like,
Don't talk to me unless you plan on f***ing me with your 9-inch stick.
I forgot what my reply was, but she obviously never messaged back. Then a week later I'm getting McDonald's and this girl was the one who handed me my food. She recognizes me instantly and just had this total look of fear in her eyes. I walked out of there so quick. The poor girl thought I purposely sought her out to confront her or something.
You should have asked for a 9 Mac inches.
The proper response to this demand is always, I don't care how hot you are. I'm not cutting 2 inches off my stick.
So, I met a guy, decent conversation, smart, funny, mutual nerdy hobbies. We decide to meet up at the local gamer bar and play some games while having our first date. Get and sit down. The dude has no teeth. Says a hack dentist told him they all had to be removed, couldn't get dentures due to budget, needed to wait for bone shards to fall out of his gums, etc. Then proceeded to spit all over our food while talking, which granted, I knew he couldn't help, but if he can hide something this big from someone, what else could he be hiding? Plus I couldn't stomach the thought of making out with someone with no teeth.
Jesus, this can't be real, lol, are hack dentists really something we need to be worried about?
Yes, it is. The Atlantic wrote a long article about the duplicity of many dentists, links in the description.
Alright, so I found this really hot woman close by, talked for a bit and went out for pizza, then back to her place. A few weeks later I met her kid, who absolutely adored me. Now we live together and have another child. Deleted Tinder, never again.
Absolutely horrific.
Wait, so they used Tinder to find a long-term partner? Disgusting. I went to his place and we hooked up, but after, he goes,
So, you wanna know what I'm really into?
and I was like, sure, and then he grabs my foot. I have a really irrational fear of people touching my feet, so I ran the hell out of there. Anyway, I get to the living room on the way out, and it turns out to be his parents' house, and I look at his mother and see she was my old therapist.
Plot twist, it was all a setup by your old therapist, as a means of exposure therapy to help you overcome your fear of people touching your feet.
So, I matched with this super attractive, super tall dude. We meet up for drinks and he's charming. All around seems like I hit the jackpot. I'm starting to wonder why on earth is he interested in me. Fast forward to us being back at his place, we're making out, and before long, I'm taking off his pants, and with no notice from him, bam, micro pecker. This little nub, maybe 2 inches long and about the size of my finger, is staring me in the face. Now, I don't judge and started playing with it, thinking to myself, how are we going to have sex? Maybe he's got pussy eating down to an art, and it's going to be a hot night. Well, nope. Apparently he's not into that. He wants to skip oral, go straight to penetration. I'm on my stomach and he starts quote unquote me from behind. He starts to dirty talk as well.
Oh yeah. Do you love that big stick?
And how?
How do you like having your badge destroyed?
And I'm trying the best I can, not to laugh, and don't have the heart to tell him he's just my thighs, not actually penetrating me. It doesn't take long until he comes and I'm stuck wondering, what the hell just happened to me?
I think that maybe you dated my ex. I'm so sorry.
Ha! It sounds like you went on a date with Reddit.
I feel personally attacked.
We feel personally attacked, comrade.
Thanks for watching. Guys, if you liked the video, please leave a like for the algorithm. And be sure to check out my other videos. And if you didn't, let me know in the comment section. Alright, till next time.